with John Solomon.
All right, folks, welcome back for the final segment of this special tonight. And we saved the best for last. We've got Dr. GINA Loudon joining us from Palm Beach, Florida. And Eric Greitens, my colleague here at Just the News, former governor of Missouri, joining us here in Washington. GINA, Eric, we just heard some pretty dramatic news from Jenna Ellis just a few minutes ago. Wayne County, the largest county in Michigan, the home of Detroit, just announced its canvassing board that it is refusing to certify the election results because of concerns about irregularities. GINA, what do you make of this?
Well, this could, John, potentially, I guess, be a real watershed moment for the Trump campaign. You know, we're hearing a lot of things like this from all around the country, just irregularities and fraud that you have uncovered, or at least suspicions of fraud. Right. If this happens, and if the whole state then, as Jenna mentioned, would refuse to certify, that's 16 electoral votes. That could make a huge dent in what could really change an entire complexion of this election.
Yeah, and it would be an acknowledgement that something did go on untoward in Detroit, right? I mean, there's not many reasons why you would not certify unless you thought something bad had happened. Do you think the people of Michigan, what's going to be the reaction of the people of Michigan when they hear this?
Well, I think the people of Michigan want a free and fair election, just like most Americans want a free and fair election. That's why I think so many people are surprised that we can't get some unity where, you know, I think a lot of Americans would love to see Joe Biden and Kamala Harris join the Trump campaign and saying, look, let's just make sure that all legal votes are counted and all illegal votes are not counted. Right. That alone could unify this country in ways that I think could open a new, you know, a lot of people like to say a 9/12 moment. A lot of people like to remember that unity right after 9/11, right. How unified we were. That could change everything if both parties united and said, let's just make sure this election was done fairly, and then may the best person win.
Governor, let me turn to you. I mean, you ran for office, you ran a state, you've been through these big elections. Yes. When you hear something as dramatic as a large region of a state saying, we're not going to count these votes, we're not going to certify them, what does that tell you went on behind the scenes?
That is really big news. That is really big news. And all of our viewers should really digest this. That they're saying something's wrong. Now, they haven't come out yet. We don't know publicly what they're saying. But you've done the reporting where we had Jesse Jacob and others. This was you reported on it. You know, city of Detroit employee, been there for decades, saying there was widespread fraud. She was one of multiple people who came up with affidavits saying that there was widespread fraud. And now you've got this board saying, we're not going to certify these results. There's definitely something there, and it needs to be dug into.
Yeah, it seems to change the dynamic of the legal case a lot. We just heard from all the lawyers on the Trump team. You know where their constitutional arguments are. You know what their evidentiary arguments are. How much does this play into their case now to have one state say, hey, something went amiss here?
I think it's huge because it also sets an example. It's hard in life to be the first person to do anything.
First one
but now here we have Wayne County in Detroit, Michigan saying, you know what? We're not going to certify these results. Well, that lets other people in counties in Pennsylvania, lets people looking at this in Wisconsin and Arizona.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know what? We don't have to certify these results. If we think there's something wrong and our name's going to be on the line, we're going to step back and we're going to take a minute and make sure that these are legally counted votes. And I think that's really important for the country.
Yeah, and that's exactly what GINA said. You know, we're not trying to count, we're not trying to exclude votes that were legally cast. We're trying to find the ones that were illegally, improperly cast or counted. GINA, last night in Clark County, they threw out another election. This was for a Clark County county commissioner. But the idea that in 24 hours, in a race where the Democrats repeatedly told us no harm, no foul, nothing bad went on, we now have one race thrown out and one race that may not be certified. How does this change the politics of this argument over the next 24, 48 hours?
Well, hopefully more media outlets than just the news and Real America's Voice will start reporting some of this, John, and I do realize that some are. But we really need for all media to jump on board and just be transparent about what's actually taking place in the reports that have been made, and so that America can watch what happens and this can come down on the side of a free and fair election.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Last quick question. January 20th, who's going to be president? Jeannie,
I'm going to say Donald Trump.
All right, Eric?
I'm a supporter of the president as well, and I think that this is a big development, and we've just broken this news, and it is really important that we get this right.
Well, that would be one amazing turnabout. There'd be a lot of explaining to do in the news media world if that happens on January 20th. I can't wait to cover that. That would be interesting. Folks, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. First, Eric and Gina, thank you for being with us here. We're so grateful for your expertise and time.
You bet.
And for all of our guests from the Trump legal team here at Real America's Voice at Just the News, what we're dedicated to is giving your voice an opportunity to be heard, to get the facts. We don't try to make up your mind for you. You make up your mind with the facts that we try to get you from real experts like Eric and Gina and the legal team that we brought here today. Now, a lot of news is breaking tonight. Stay in touch with us at AMERICASVOICE.NEWS and at JustTheNews.com. I think it's going to be a long night of surprises if what we heard in Wayne County is true. Goodbye.
An election special with John